She was just a maid, until one phone call exposed everything. Zoe Johnson was mopping the shiny floors of the Grand Plaza Hotel lobby when her phone rang. Normally, staff weren't allowed to answer personal calls during work, but this number was important. It was the university she had applied to for the 6th time to get a scholarship for her master's degree in linguistics. Hiding behind one of the marble columns, she answered softly. Zoe Johnson. The voice on the other end spoke in Dutch, fluent and clear. Zoe's eyes lit up. She answered back, sounding just as native. It was Professor Van Eaton from the University of Amsterdam. They spoke for a moment about her missing motivation letter. Zoe didn't notice someone watching, until the voice of her manager, Ms. Richards, shouted, "Johnson, my office, now." Next to Richards stood Richard Coleman, billionaire owner of the hotel chain. He had heard everything. The walk to Richard's office in the basement felt like forever. Zoe could feel her coworkers staring. Some looked sorry. Others seemed pleased to see her get in trouble. Richards didn't waste a second. "You know the rules. No phones on the floor. And Dutch, French, whatever that was, it doesn't matter." Mr. Coleman saw a cleaning lady standing around and talking. "That's unacceptable." Zoe stayed quiet. "You're being moved to clean the worst bathrooms in the convention center for the next 3 months, Richards said coldly. "Be glad you're not fired." That night, Zoe cried silently in her tiny apartment. Her college degree in linguistics hung on the wall next to international language certificates. Proof she was qualified, yet still stuck cleaning hotel floors 6 years later. She had applied to better jobs even within the hotel, 47 resumes sent, 12 transfer requests, and not one was approved. The next morning, she was cleaning again, trying to stay strong, when a call came from the front desk. "Zoe Johnson, HR wants to see you immediately." Her heart raced. The Human Resources office was at the top of the hotel, where executives worked. Cleaning staff never went there. She entered nervously. The HR director said, "Mr. Coleman wants to speak with you." Now, his office was bigger than her apartment. Coleman looked serious. "Dutch, French, Italian, Mandarin. That's correct?" Zoe nodded, confused. "How do you know?" "I asked HR for your file. Georgetown graduate. 6 languages. Cleaning rooms for 6 years. Why?" Zoe sighed. "I applied many times for jobs that match my skills. Always ignored, always rejected." "By who?" Coleman asked. "Manager Richards. And Mr. Whitmore, the director of operations." Coleman wrote their names quickly. He had a hunch something was wrong in his company, and now he had proof. "A trade event starts tomorrow," he said. "Dutch and Chinese businesses. I need someone fluent in both languages." Zoe forced a smile. "Do you want me to clean their rooms?" "No," Coleman said with a grin. "I want you to be the international relations coordinator. You'll organize the event, starting now, $5,000 a week." Zoe nearly dropped her bag. An hour later, she had a new badge, a new job, and a shocked elevator ride past stunned hotel employees. When Richard saw her, she snapped, "Why are you out of uniform?" "New position," Zoe answered. At the CEO's request, Richard's face went pale. Over the next few days, Zoe fixed more than just event details. She found translation mistakes in important documents, errors that could have caused major problems and even financial loss. Worse, those flawed translations were done by a company owned by Mr. Whitmore's niece. He had been hiding this for years while rejecting qualified staff. The event began. Guests from the Netherlands and China felt welcomed and respected, thanks to Zoe's language skills and cultural knowledge. Even a Dutch businessman recognized her for an academic article she published years ago. Mr. Coleman watched everything carefully. The truth about discrimination, nepotism, and corruption in his company was unfolding clearly and publicly. On the 3rd day, Zoe found Whitmore sneaking bad translations back into the event packages. She rushed back to Coleman's office and shared proof of years of favoritism, lies, and blocked opportunities. Then it all came out. At an emergency meeting with all hotel managers and executives, Mr. Coleman told the truth. "We've ignored talent. We've hidden it under service uniforms. That ends now." He fired Whitmore. Suspended Richards, and then he smiled. "Meet your new Global Director of Internal Communications, Dr. Zoe Johnson." The room stood in silence, then applause. Zoe looked around. The people who once overlooked her now stood in recognition. The ones who believed in her wiped tears from their eyes. 6 months later, Zoe's program to find overlooked talent was in every hotel the company owned. Dozens of staff were promoted: janitors, dishwashers, laundry workers, based on real skills. Zoe's voice was no longer ignored, and it all started with one phone call in Dutch.